Okay, welcome back. We're going to now cover how to drop in, how to pick a drummer, customize the drums. Select my cleverly titled demo song. If this is the screen that you get, I've messed with it since making the last video, so this is not exactly where we left off. But up here at the top left, you'll see My Songs, a couple of squares. That circle button right there is how you edit your drummer. So we left off with Kyle. Pretty straightforward, modern rock drummer that sounds like this. Which is great. We'll use this drummer to talk about all the ways you can change the parameters. This over here, this grid is going to be super useful for really dialing in the feel. Loud or soft, complicated or simple, and anywhere in this matrix, you can customize it and it'll change for whichever region you have selected. So now you can't, for example, let's listen to that intro. Put that right there, just for fun. All right, well, if I wanted to do tambourine and some hand claps, and that's a tambourine moderately, maybe let's do toms are these drums right here. The kick and the snare, that's kick, that's the snare. These are your cymbals, that's a hi-hat. So by arranging these, there are literally, maybe not literally infinite, but pretty much, there's no limit. There's no practical limit to the drum beats that you can create. A fill is that. At the end of a phrase, that tucka 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 tucka, sort of here comes the end of a phrase, extra drumming they do. The drums are really important for signaling when parts of the song are changing. So the last thing I want to point out is the swing. So here is, in this section, the swing is turned off. So swing is straight ahead, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and dot dot dot, right on it. Swing, let's do a heavy eighth note swing. Listen to the difference in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and versus 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and ba 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 ba. So that's a pretty heavy swing. Somewhere, like a lot of blues and classic rock's got that sort of feel to it. A lighter, less extreme version would be down here in the 16th notes. So just a little bit. And that's really when it's good, when it's subtle, unless you're really trying to make a point. So anyway, let's say I wanted to do an electronic drummer. I'm going to go back to Leah. And it's the same thing, same parameters. You just have different types of rhythmic instruments to choose from, right? So I got my 4-measure intro here, which I can zoom into by pinching if I want to. Oops. You can also move those around, but that's probably not going to be necessary. So 1, 2, 3, 4 full measures of an intro, and then the drum beat kicks in for real right here at the 5th measure. Let's see what that sounds like. That's pretty cool. Now, the reason that there are different sections here is if you wanted to change from an intro to a verse or verse to a chorus or some sort of mini chapter in your story, you can signal with the drummers. So this section is only 4 measures. I'm probably going to want to bring that out a little farther. And you'll know what to do once you start putting other instruments in and can change that later. And then you can also, if you've got this one section here, you could put your playhead there, tap that region, hit split, and now I've got 2 distinct sections to work with there. Again, every time you split it, every time there's a change, you can customize the parameters for each section so that you can get exactly what you want. I would not recommend having the same drum beat for the entire song, but there's no rule against it. I'm just kind of leaving it up to you. Do what works. So if you like the way it sounds, keep it. If you don't, then you ought to change it. That is everything you need to know about how to set up, how to customize your drums. And the next thing we're going to do is add the bass.